Today we're talking about Super Smash Bros. Brawl. How it sucks. Or does it? Super Smash Bros. Brawl is by far one of the most underrated Smash Bros. Games. Brought in some of the most important character additions to the series, including third-party characters like Sonic and Snake, as well as a ton of replayability, not to mention the best story mode we've ever gotten from a Smash Bros. Game. Or at least that's what I remember. I have so much nostalgia for that game. It was my first Smash Bros. Game, one of my first games on the Wii that wasn't a Mario game. The more I think about it, I think of things like messy controls and an art style that was definitely a choice. No, it was a good game, right? Honestly, I think I've let my nostalgia get in the way of me actually knowing if it's a good game or not. Well, I guess there's only one way to solve this. Welcome to my new series, Nostalgia Review, where I play my childhood games and see if they're actually as good as I remember. Where I find out if the games I loved in my childhood were actually good, or I just have good memories of those games. Here's how everything's going to work. Each game will be scored in 5 different categories, and we'll be given a score out of 5. Those scores will be tallied up into one final score. The game will be scored 2 different times. One time before I play it, scoring purely off of nostalgia alone, and a second time after I've actually played it. The score after the game is played is the official score, and we will place the game on the chart that I don't have a name for yet, but I'm going to put it on screen right now. In those 5 categories I talked about earlier, those categories are as follows: gameplay, story, replayability, which I'm not actually sure is an actual word, music, that's a word, I know that for sure, and graphics. Okay, you got all that? Okay, good. Now grab your GameCube controller, because I know we're not playing Smash Bros., a platform fighter, with a Wii remote. And let's play Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Still loud.
Okay, so we're going to start with the first initial score. For the gameplay. The gameplay, as I remember in Smash Bros. Brawl, is probably the worst part about it, which is not good for a game. It has its charms, it has its, quirks, but tripping's a thing. The gameplay is much slower than its predecessor, Melee. It just wasn't a lot of people's favorites, and especially in a competitive or one-on-one setting. So out of a 5, I'll probably have to give it a 2. Pretty disappointing for the Smash Bros. Series, and probably one of the worst gameplay experiences as far as strictly gameplay goes in a Smash Bros. Game, outside of maybe like the DS or something. Story. When people talk about Smash Bros. Brawl, I think the first thing that's brought up is the story mode, and it's fantastic. I know it is, and I remember so many good moments from that story. The Rob storyline, the Lucas redemption arc, especially the personality it gives to a lot of kind of unknown characters or lesser known characters, so it's got to be a 5 out of 5, man. It was so good that Sakurai didn't do it again because he didn't want the story to get leaked online and he put so much effort into it. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. It's perfect. Replayability, I'm going to say it's a 4. I think some modes got kind of downgraded from Melee, but there's still a whole lot to do, especially the story mode being so replayable. It's got to be a 4. Music, I remember the music being peak. It has to be 5 out of 5. I might be a little disappointed if it's not. There's a lot of cool remixes and stuff like that. So yeah, it has to be a 5 out of 5. Also, like the main theme is like still memed to this day because it's so loved by so many people. Okay guys, I want you to witness peak intros right here. This is how you do an intro right. I know it's just a lot of cutscenes from Subspace, but I don't care. It's great. I don't know why this is in another language than English or Japanese, but it is, and it sounds sick. Yeah, so it's gotta be a perfect 5 out of 5. Graphics are another thing that a lot of people did not like, because why does Mario's overalls have so much detail? Like why was that a thing? Yeah, the graphics. I know it was the Wii and I know it was 2008, but there was a lot of better looking games on the Wii, so I'm gonna go with a 2 because it was pretty disappointing. Okay, so that means our initial score out of 25 is an 18 for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Not too bad, but I could definitely be overrating it in my mind, so let's see how it actually holds up today in 2024. Let's start with probably the most controversial part of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and that is the gameplay. I will say it was helpful, since when I went in to play this game, I didn't technically go in blind because I did play it a couple weeks or maybe a month earlier with my brother. Which
I already tripped.
If you saw the last video on the channel, you know what I'm talking about. We played 3 different Smash Bros. Games to see who was technically the best Smash Bros. Player. So since I played with my brother already, I kind of decided to judge the gameplay off of Classic Mode and some other side modes. I ultimately decided just to play through Classic Mode to see what the gameplay was all about. Now for the question everybody has probably been asking, well, how was it? Well, to answer your question, surprisingly not bad. Was it good? Oh no, it wasn't good. Probably the worst Smash Bros. Game as far as gameplay goes outside of the 3DS. However, if you look at it as its own thing and don't compare it to all the other Smash Bros. Games and just kind of look at the game how it is, it's not bad. It takes some getting used to. Because of course it does. It has tripping, it's very slow, very floaty, but it's not bad. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. A nice contrast from the last category, we have the story, which I previously rated at a 5 out of 5 before I played this game. So going into this is definitely something I thought would be the best category we were reviewing today, and I was right. This is everything you could have asked for a story in a Smash Bros. Game. From when I was a kid to being 21 years old now playing this game, it's fantastic. Obviously, if you were to compare it to like some story-driven games, obviously they're going to be better than this. But for a narrative created for a platform fighter that has a fairly young audience, made on the Wii, a console that had this game on it, a platform fighter with Nintendo characters on it, it's amazing. The character interaction is amazing, cutscenes are well directed and well animated, and every character feels like themselves, and is well showcased outside of a few outliers like Sonic and Toon Link, Wolf, and Jigglypuff. Those were late additions to the game. I got the game delayed, so we're gonna let it slide. And by the way, it's still a perfect 5 out of 5. Something more recent Smash Bros. Games have struggled with is being replayable for years to come. I'm looking at you, Wii U and 3DS, you dropped the ball, okay? Done messed up. So does Smash Bros. Brawl do any better? Yes it does. Not only does it have the entire Subspace Emissary that has different branching paths and different choices that impact which characters you actually get to play with, but you have Classic Mode, which, while it is kind of repetitive, it's still very fun, especially if you try to run through it as fast as you can. You have Event Matches, which put all the different cast of characters in very unique scenarios, and they are very challenging. I think there's like 40 of them in this game. You also have Home Run Contest, Special Brawl, and when you unlock every single character, you get All-Star Mode, which is basically a Smash Bros. Endurance test. All this and so much more, including a Stage Builder mode, which obviously this isn't the best incarnation of this mode, but still very fun. Anyways, outside of maybe Ultimate, this is by far the most replayable Smash Bros. Game that I've ever played, so it gets a 5 out of 5. Smash Bros. Has always had a very sick soundtrack, and Brawl is no exception. First of all, the game theme and menu music is just iconic. I've never skipped an intro in my life, and for good reason. It's hype, it's fun, it's cool. But also the remixes are fantastic, and some of them are still used today in Smash Bros. Ultimate. The only downside of this is that not every franchise in this game is treated equally. Some franchises will get a crazy number of tracks, like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and that is to be expected. And then there's Earthbound, who has 2 characters in this game and have 3 tracks in this game. So I was really upset about this Earthbound thing, but turns out they actually have like 6 tracks in this game, which is pretty reasonable for the size of that series. It's honestly pretty generous. Don't know why I was so upset about that in the first place, but also I was just straight up wrong. Yeah, so my bad. Just ignore this point in my argument. It does end up impacting the score, so the score could have been higher, so sorry. Even Animal Crossing gets 4, and they don't even have a character in this game. They have a stage, but I mean, they have 2 less characters as Earthbound does, and has 1 more track. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, even franchises like F-Zero, Ice Climber, and Pikmin have more. And they have 1 rep, not 2. Even Mario spin-off series like Yoshi and Wario have more tracks. I don't know, maybe this is just a nitpick, I don't know. It did surprise me a little bit when I booted up this game. Nitpicks aside, this game has amazing music. I'm still gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, I'm not gonna drag this along. The graphics are very weird in this game. I think this game looks fine, but why did Mario's overalls have to look so realistic? I think it was going for a realistic, gritty look, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a company that made Kirby's Epic Yarn, you know? Like, we don't need to see that. I don't think it looks absolutely terrible or anything, It just doesn't fit the Smash Bros series or really Nintendo. Solid Snake should not blend in to this art style more than Mario does. Yeah, I tried to give it a higher score than this, but I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5. So that means that Super Smash Bros. Brawl started out at a score of 18 out of 25. And it ended, drum roll please. Yep, give me the drum sound effects, thank you. Stop. Okay, keep going. A 19 out of 25. Only one better than I had it rated before, so I guess my assessment of this game was actually fairly accurate. But I still appreciated it more after I played it. So that means on the chart that I haven't named yet, that it's going in the good game tier. I know there are some points in this video where I kind of dogged on this game a little bit for having a weird, different gameplay from the other games, from having an interesting art style, and I did complain about its music a little bit. But this game is great, and I honestly think that even though it was a step down competitively or gameplay wise from Melee, I think any game that did anything different from Melee after the success of Melee would have also got complained about just as much. I think Smash Bros. Brawl does have a problem with being like a middle child, or being kind of stuck in the middle or forgotten about over Melee and Smash Ultimate now. But it's still a hidden gem and does a lot of things that are very important for the series. All those third-party characters we have in Ultimate, that would not be possible without Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And I've got a lot of very fond memories of this game. This is how I got introduced to this franchise in general. I saw it at Walmart. I saw Mario, Wario on the front, some characters I recognized. Didn't know a lot of them, but this game has got me interested in these other franchises I wouldn't otherwise be interested in. I mean, look at me, I've got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to this game because of how much I love it. So I want to thank Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Sakurai for this game, because it has been a very important part of my life, whether I realized it or not. So do me a favor, if you haven't played this game in a while, go play it. And lastly, I want to thank you guys for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of this kind of content, of me reviewing games or taking a look back at games that I've played previously, let me know what games you want to see from me. Let me know a game that you're nostalgic for in the comments. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. This is a different type of video, so let me know if you liked it. And don't forget, if you don't like this game, you're tripping.